evening. Today is Tuesday, August 18th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Lasky.
Here.
Mayor Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Keck.
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Here.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Here.
City Manager.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
DPW Director.
Here.
Community Development Director.
Here.
Police Chief.
Here.
Fire Chief.
Here.
City Engineer.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Thank you. Disclosure of conflict of interest. Any council member with a conflict of interest regarding an agenda item, disclose at this time. Anybody? Public hearings, we have none. Citizens comment on agenda-related items. Any citizens with correspondence to be distributed to council should provide items to city clerk prior to the start of the meeting or after the meeting has adjourned, limited to 5 minutes. Anybody on agenda-related items? Okay, consent agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval, any member of council may have an item removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Items include approval of minutes, cash balances, payroll, revenue and expenses, invoices, balance sheet, quarterly investment report, consideration of proposed ordinance 26-03, adding chapter 47, authority to draw money from the treasury to the city of Manistee codified ordinances. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of authorizing purchase agreement for man-made lake property. The city was awarded a Michigan Department of Natural Resources, MDNR, grant that provides funding for 62% of the acquisition cost, including the purchase price and closing costs, up to a maximum of $94,000. The city is responsible for the remaining 38%, consistent with the commitment outlined in the project agreement. The city will use the grant to acquire the last remaining piece of the private property in man-made lake section, which provides a critical access point from the parking lot. The agreed upon purchase price for man-made lake parcel is $150,000, with a final estimated acquisition cost of $154,000, including closing cost. At this time, council could take action to approve the purchase of the property and all associated closing documents subject to city attorney approval, and amend the current fiscal year budget by $154,000 to allow the city to complete the land acquisition and submit eligible costs for reimbursement through the MDNR grant. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Did we ever have it surveyed, or has there been a recent survey on that?
So we did follow all the steps for the MDNR requirements for the acquisition. So I don't know that we had to do a formal survey on it, but we do have to do like a boundary map, and it's basically going to become part of this park area. So it's, yeah, that's not really needed.
Okay.
So as you can see from the illustration, it's the final piece, and it is actually the easiest access from the parking lot to the beach. So I'm very excited to get this
It's a
completed.
good purchase.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Long time in coming.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan. Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of a collective bargaining agreement with United Steelworkers. A tentative agreement for a three-year United Steelworkers contract was reached. The Department of Public Works employees represented by the United Steelworkers ratified a tentative agreement. At this time, council could take action to approve a 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the United Steelworkers and authorize the mayor and clerk to execute the agreement. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I guess, just a couple of comments. I appreciate seeing the whole document and the redlining. That made it much easier for me to understand. It was very helpful. I was glad to see the FML language was removed and just replaced with basically, we will follow the law. So that was good. Seems like a pretty hefty contract, and I do worry about the 27-28 budget. And, you know, what positions we're not gonna be able to fill to pay for it. That's about it, you know,
Yeah. And like any agreement, I think both sides kind of want it a little bit different, but I think it is a good agreement.
yeah.
And as you pointed out, there's a typo. It's retroactive to July 1st, 2026, so I just want to make that distinction.
I think it's a good contract, and I feel those guys deserve some more, because they're in the hole when it's winter time, they're out there plowing, they're working all the time. I mean, we've had the old adage about leaning on the shovels and all that, but I think they still do pretty good work.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan. Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes,
Councilmember Rezga.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of entering into a 4-year installment purchase contract with West Shore Bank and Frederickson Supply to finance the previously approved purchase of a street sweeper. On July 21st, 2026, council approved the purchase of a street sweeper in the amount of $350,000. When approved, it was anticipated that the financing arrangement would be made at a later date. The city solidified financing bids for the street sweeper and needs to close on the financing to pay vendor. At this time, council will take action to adopt a resolution to enter into a 4-year installment purchase contract with West Shore Bank in the amount of $270,000 to finance the purchase of the street sweeper and further authorize the chief financial officer to execute any needed documents. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Rezga.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes,
Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of approving a budget amendment for Veterans Memorial Park stairs. An existing stairway along the band shell in Veterans Memorial Park is in severe disrepair and requires replacement. A quote has been received from the Veterans Memorial Park contractor and reviewed and recommended by Spicer Group. The work can be completed by change order to the existing project. However, additional funds must be allocated because the work is not eligible for grant funding under the North Riverwalk Veterans Park project. The grant specifically includes improvements to the band shell and the immediate area surrounding it. At this time, council can take action to approve a budget amendment in the general fund Parks capital outlay in the amount of $45,000 to fund the reconstruction of the stairs to the band shell. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Did you say that the band shell was included?
No, it's excluded.
It's excluded, okay.
Did
then
I
heard
say
that wrong. I
included?
know
I'm
it's-
sorry.
It's excluded, yes.
A question on the tread design. Is it going to be like it is currently with the short and the long and the short and the long, or is that gonna be changed?
Spicer has redesigned this as a concrete stairwell, so we don't have these future maintenance issues like we do today. And the stairwells have been designed so that they comply with the current codes.
This is stairway coming down from the parking lot, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
And it'll be done kind of at the same time frame as the rest of the project, correct?
If it gets approved tonight, then we'll execute the change order, and it should be commenced within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And if I understood the information correctly, if there's enough contingency, you won't have to take it out of the Parks Fund, correct?
Yeah, so we knew, as the agenda item states, we knew that this wasn't eligible and couldn't be put into the project. So the internal discussions were, if we've got enough project contingency, then we could fund that. We're far enough along. We haven't used a lot of the contingency. But if you remember, when we awarded the contract, we had to do a lot of value engineering, and we reduced the contingency down. So we decided to put it on the agenda with the full amount so that there's no surprises, that you guys are fully aware of what that cost is. And if there's contingencies available at the end of the project, then those funds can be reduced.
Good, let's
Well,
hope.
do those have handles on the sides? Because last time we crawled down there, half of the old people almost fell down.
Yeah, I believe that there's railing as part of this.
Good.
And I'm not sure I understood the answer to my question, because, you know, right now the stairs are, I don't know, the flat part, some are short and some are long. Is it gonna be the same way, short and long, or is it all gonna be the same?
So, yeah, so if you think about how the seating is built into the bank.
Yep.
There will be flat landings that'll be level with those, and then there's steps that get you down to the next tier.
Okay, so
But the,
design,
but the steps will be all consistent and within code.
okay, nice.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruzga.
Yes,
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of approving a license agreement with Tangle Tackle Company operates a retail establishment along US 31 in Manistee Township and has requested permission to operate in a merchandise First Street boat launch. The temporary operation is intended to provide anglers with convenient access to fishing supplies during the reconstruction of US 31 in the 2027-2028 year. The Harbor Commission and Parks Commission express support. At this time, council would take action to approve a license agreement with Tangle Tackle Company to operate a merchandise trailer at First Street Beach boat launch and authorize the mayor and clerk to execute the agreement. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah,
Spoke with Jeff. Oops, go ahead.
Bill, are we putting private people, businesses, through, I know it's for the 2007-8 highway deal, but are we allowing private businesses to operate on?
So we've had, in the past, we've had some vendors, like with kayaks, and Jeff, if you'd like to come up, but this was kind of, it was requested, it was thought to help the fishermen, that they could access it when the highway's closed, so we try to follow that same model we used in the past, if we have vendors in the boat launch area.
Yeah, so in the past, we've allowed two different companies the same type of agreement at First Street and Fifth Avenue for stand-up paddle boards, and there was kayak rentals. And as the clerk has pointed out, this agreement would be very similar to a food truck that operates in the city. We've had food trucks that have been down at the fish cleaning station. Tangle Tackle reached out and said they were concerned about the fishermen getting to them during the construction. They wanted to kind of try it out this summer a little bit, see how that operated from their end, and if it was a good fit for us. So this is very consistent with what we've done in the past.
Okay, well, I would just, because I know I'll be asked that question, so
Sure.
I wanted to make sure it was asked.
Well, and they also pay an annual,
Wellston wants to do that.
I'm sorry, what's that?
But then what if one of them wants to come in from Wellston and wants to open it?
Sure, any business could do that. They would have to make the same application. It would have to go through the same review process, and council would have to approve an agreement with them.
I'm just worrying that this is setting a precedence and that all of a sudden we're gonna, I mean, the rafts or whatever you said we've had down there before is a different situation because we don't have those things readily available. But I'm just afraid that this is gonna open up a can of worms and we're all of a sudden gonna have trucks wanting to be everywhere down at the beach. I mean, I'm not against it because of the situation, but I would hate for it to go any further than that. Because all of a sudden, we're already limited parking down at the beach. Where would this thing park?
We've specified on one of the exhibits where they would park. We try to put them by an island so that they would be out of the way. And this agreement takes them through the 2028 year where the construction would be occurring. If they were to desire to be there in the future, they would have to renew that agreement, come back before council, and we certainly could get input from the Harbor Commission and Parks Commission on whether or not that was successful and desirable in the future.
And this would be a, I don't wanna say permanent structure, but he's not pulling in and out all the time. He plans on leaving it sit right there.
No, he's not. What they've expressed to me is that they would bring the trailer in early in the morning, and then they would remove it when they're done with selling for the day.
And Jeff, I was at the Parks meeting, and the Parks had a little bit of interpretation based on what you said. We didn't want to set precedents for that. And one thing that is not in the lease that we should add is that it was going to be removed daily at 9 o'clock. And the Parks was under the impression that it would start next year, but I see where they're wanting to start tomorrow, actually. So,
They actually wanted to start 2 months ago, but we had to go through the process.
and I think everybody's fear is, you know, is Big Al's, everybody who's gonna lose.
That's my fear.
Going to wanna be down there at the beach, and you're saying that they can go through the proper channels, but I don't know if the city wants to get into, like, that's our food truck location at the beach. So, yeah, but as long as they're there, which if they got there, I think it was originally 4 in the morning to 8, but 5 to 9 is pretty much an equivalent. But to have it removed every day, I'm not even sure what the trailer looks like. I mean, we're agreeing to something that, it could be great, or it could be a, I don't know what.
Could be a terrible eyesore.
Yeah, so as long as, by 9 o'clock, not too many people other than fishermen at the beach, but if we could add that to the lease, that the trailer be removed by 9 AM, I think that would help us a little bit, feel better.
And if I can add, so we have that, the mobile food vending application that is just for food trucks, and they have a set location where they need to be, and that does not address, like Jeff said, goods for sale outside of food. So in order for something like this to happen, they have to come to council with an agreement. So it's not like
Right.
anybody
Can
could
just
do
pull in
this.
there, I know
Right.
that, yes.
So when you said like, if a restaurant wanted to do it, they could get a mobile food vending permit, but they could not be necessarily where this is going to be, because they have to be so many feet from the concession stand, or, there's certain areas where they can operate. And I have seen the trailer. There has been, and it's very nice looking trailer.
Okay.
So it's very nice.
Possible to add that to the lease.
Mending,
The contract.
are you mending to add that?
Would it be okay, Blake, to just add that one little thing, because that's kind of, it becomes harder over time, oh, I don't feel like pulling that out tonight, or it's whatever. And I think that was how it was presented to the parks. So looking back at what the parks had thought was going to go in there, and the Parks Commission recommendation, if it's all right, I would just say amending it to have the trailer removed daily at 9 AM or after.
Yes, we can definitely amend
Thank
the
you.
agreement to state that. Maybe you want to have an amended motion to approve it, subject to that condition.
Thank you.
So you'll have to do.
So you have to do that.
Okay, I'd like to amend the current motion to include a line that just states that the food truck should, or not the food truck, the tackle truck should be removed daily at the agreed time of after the 9 o'clock,
9 AM.
9 AM.
9 AM.
9 AM.
Not after.
Yes. 9 AM. Thank you.
So they can operate it from 5 AM to 9 AM?
That's what they
Got it,
requested.
okay.
We thought 4 to 8, but they said 5 to 9. I think we're fine with that. I don't know if anybody, 5 is fine.
So do you want the motion to amend the agreement that they will operate from 5 to 9 daily?
That's in there. I think the big amendment would be that they remove the,
They removed
So
the trailer.
agreement,
After-
the trailer will be
after 9
removed
a.m.
daily by 9 AM.
yeah, at 9 AM.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Anybody else have anything? Heather, would you please take roll? Okay, so we're going to vote on the amendment first. Councilmember Raditz,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky,
Yes?
Mayor Sullivan, Councilmember Keck,
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezga.
Yes.
Motion approved. And now we'll vote on the original motion as amended. Councilmember Raditz?
So this is the original
With
without
the,
the
with the amendment.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky?
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilmember Keck?
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Rezga?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of designating a voting delegate for the MML Michigan Municipal League Conference Annual Meeting. The MML Annual Convention will be held October 7th through 9th, 2026 pursuant to the provisions of the league bylaws. We are requested to designate by action of governing body one official who will be in attendance at the convention as an official representative to cast the vote of the city of Manistee at the annual meeting, and if possible, to designate one other official to serve as an alternate. Mayor Sullivan and Mayor Pro Tem Smith will be attending the convention. At this time, council could take action to appoint a voting delegate and an alternative for the MML annual convention. When you make your motion, please state the name of the voting delegate and alternative you're appointing. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to make Mayor Sullivan the one official and Mayor Pro Tem Smith to serve as the alternate.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan. Councilmember Keck.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Rezga.
Yes.
Motion approved.
I did want to state too that we made it into the MML magazine, if you guys get this, the river walk that Sammy and the tourism are working on. So that'll be mentioned up there too. So now we will have a report from Mr. Eric Thummel from the Manistee Recreational Association.
Press the down arrow to advance. The down button to advance. Yep.
All right, thank you, Council, for inviting me tonight. I'm Eric Thummel from the Manistee Recreation Association, and just a quick wrap-up of what we've been doing this, this past year. That's the show right there. You got it. As you might know, the Manistee Recreation Association has been serving youth in the community since 1942. Began right after World War II began, and it began as activities for young people. And we've continued on for 84 years we're into now. Some of the programs that we offer, well, there's a bunch of them. If you take a look up there, we've got all sorts of things for the youth and adults as well. I just want to point out a few new things that have been added. You see swim classes are up there. We've returned to having tot swim, that's 6 months old to 4 years old. Participants learning how to swim safety for the younger kids. That's been a really popular program this year. And wrestling has returned to the MRA. The Manistee Combat Academy run down at the end of 8th Street. Mr. Johnson there and his crew have graciously allowed the MRA to have youth wrestling. And later in the winter, this past winter, we had some kids participate in some youth tournaments throughout the area. So that's pretty exciting. Along with all our other events that we have, basketball, soccer, Myths and Legends Camp continues. That's the Dungeons and Dragons and sword fightings that Backstage Hobbies and Games puts on. Little League Tennis Camp, Falling for Fitness, that's the youth running program, and a few other things. Adult Kickball is about to get started as well. We still have a couple spots left open. That's for anybody in the community who wants to get a team together. We've got 4 teams committed and looking for a few more right now. Another big thing we've got that's been going on is our teen referee clinics for basketball and baseball in particular. Those have been very popular. We've had 25 youth attend each of those this past year. It's hard to get referees for lots of sports now. I believe I've read the average high school referee is around 60 years old. And so recruiting these younger kids to get involved, we've gotten some young kids that have gotten certified through the MHSAA and are starting their careers or a little part pastime, side job as a sports official. We've got flag football, the ski program continues, track and field camp, and the Zombie Run 5K, which happens during the fall festival, are all just some of the events that we put on. As you know, the MRA is a nonprofit. We are not a government entity at all. We rely on support from volunteers. We're participating with, you can see a lot of things we participate with. Local festivals, Payne Aquatic Center, Manistee Community Foundation, Crystal Mountain. Those 100+ volunteers, all our coaches are volunteers. They're not paid for their time. It's parents coming out and doing what's best for kids. We have City of Manistee Parks Department is a great supporter of our programs, area school districts, the Armor Youth Project. We get involved with all of these entities, as well as over 15 different townships in the City of Manistee. We have participants. One of the other things we do is we present awards to worthy people each year. The Charles E. Shadle Award, which recognizes those who contribute significantly to the recreational quality of life in Manistee County. This past year, Mitch Dice, as some of you might know, was a former city manager, and he served on the MRA board for over 20 years. He stepped down recently. And I talked about the teen referee clinics. Farmer Dave Smeltzer is the guy that runs those. And this summer, I believe he took a couple of high schoolers. He's got 3 or 4 of them that are trained and are going on to doing refereeing and umpiring games throughout the community, not just in Manistee, but in the broader region. He really does a great job training those kids, and we appreciate their support. We wouldn't happen without the support of all the businesses that have sponsored us in the past year. There's just a few of them. Some of them get their name on the shirt for the kids. As they play, they get to represent that business, and we appreciate their support. And then another big source of our funding is from appropriations. We ask that different municipalities, if they'd pay a percentage of registration fees for youth activities based on the number of children that participated in their municipality in the past year, if they support us, as the city of Manistee has for years, then those youth get to register for a reduced rate for team sports. And we're greatly appreciative. Not just the county of Manistee and the city of Manistee, but we've had support in the past year from townships like Maple Grove, Bear Lake, Anekama, Manistee Township, Filer Township, Brown Township. In the past year, we added Stronach and Marilla Township, and just recently Grant Township, which is down in Mason County, and Arcadia and Norman Township. So we've got almost the entire county covered of support from those different townships and municipalities, and we are greatly appreciative. In addition, what do we do with that money? Well, number one, I can tell you t-shirts have gone, prices have gone through the roof. A flag football t-shirt, you see those kids playing right there, come close to $20 a shirt now per kid. And when you're only charging $30 a kid for registration, it gives your margin to operate very slim. So we're very grateful for the support. And in addition to that, though, is the scholarships. We provide scholarships to low-income families so that their children can participate free of charge. You just signed up 2 kids for fall soccer this past week with a scholarship, and there's many more that are using it this fall. In 2025, we provided 43 total scholarships totaling over $1,560 for participation for low-income families. And we know that's our area has a little bit more than the state average of low-income families, and we really want to make sure that all kids are involved. All kids have the opportunity to participate in sports. We know that participating in sports leads to good community members, kids that are cooperative, working well with others, and involved in the community. So it's important to keep these kids involved in these activities. So looking ahead to the future, one of the main things we always have to work on is upgrading our equipment. Things wear out pretty quickly, and we'd like to keep things upgraded, so we appreciate your support on getting in new soccer balls and other equipment as well. Collaborating with local institutions on facility use. Boy, the new middle school gym at MMHS has been fantastic for basketball participation. We're able to get done that much quicker and get more events in. Just recently, I've talked with the new owners of the Manistee Catholic School, and we're in talks right now about being able to participate in their facilities as well very shortly. And so we look to work with other groups. We were able to have events at Anekama, at Bear Lake this past year as well, not just in Manistee. And we're always looking to explore more programs, more adult recreation, and knock on wood, we get an adult co-ed volleyball team this winter to go with our kickball team, more sports clinics and camps, and collaborations with other groups. So thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate your support. Does anybody have any questions?
The city support, is it 20,000, Eric, or what is our city?
It's been 30,000 annually.
Is it 30? Okay, that's what I wasn't sure.
And the city of Manistee, we had close to 1,500 registrations last year for all of our youth sports, and over a third of that comes from the city of Manistee. That was, I think we had 500, I wrote it down, 513, I believe it was, registrations last year, and 260, that counts for 269 children, so a lot of them are doing about 2 sports apiece anyway. And so that's roughly a third of our participation numbers right here in the city of Manistee.
So when you go after donations, do you do that personally, or do people come to you? How do you typically?
Yes and yes, both on those. We do send out support letters at the end of the year asking many of the businesses. When you're looking for business support, we offer different levels if they want to get their name on a shirt, if they sponsor a team. Say we've got the Filer Credit Union's soccer team is getting ready to start their season. We do have people that just stop in and give donations regularly. That happens as well, and sometimes it's me out twisting arms as well.
Then you had a slide with red dots on it, and I figure they meant the red dots were participant numbers. Is that correct? It was the county one?
No, that's just, you're looking at this one right here. No, I believe that is areas of athletic fields in the county-wide where there's a park or a recreation area available
Okay.
in the county.
I was
I'd have to go
wondering what
back on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are recreation areas is what you're looking at
Yes,
right there.
okay, thanks.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Sheila Kaminsky will report on alternatives for area youth.
My technology skills are real limited, so I did not have time to put one together. Good afternoon, evening. Thank you for the invitation to come in, talk about Sands Park, or the rec at Sands Park. The governing body is the Alternatives for Area Youth, which is Linda Mashchick, Linda Wright, Cindy Wangbickler, Rosie Kaminsky, Seth Pratt, Jim Grabowski comes and sits on our board, and Matthew Pointer. They are all really willing to roll up their sleeves and do work, as that's what it takes for the rec at Sands Park to keep moving like it does. I serve as the director, where I shop and do banking and keep things clean and running. The board does all of the deciding and all the grunt work that needs to get done, and I appreciate them for that. We've gotten a lot of interest lately about all kinds of things. One was the remodeling of the elementary school was a big thing for us. When it was closed for 2 years, we kind of had a decline of people. The same people came. People would come from the high school and the middle school, and neighborhood kids would all come, but you could tell it just wasn't the same. Last year when they came back to school at the elementary school, after school every day, we have, a couple dozen kids in there. They come for, we try to give them a snack, fruit, juice, something. After school, a lot of them are just hungry, and many of them don't have any money to buy things. So, although everything is pretty reasonable to buy there, we just give them a snack if they come in. Peanut butter and jelly is a big one for after school. The first 2 weeks of school, I give them cookies and milk. It's just a thing. I've done it every year and plan to keep doing it as long as I can get cookies. Milk has become a different thing. Some kids, they don't do milk anymore. They want juice. They want soda pop. That lasts the 2 weeks, and we do snacks for the rest of the year. Last year's report, we had just wrapped up the ice skating season, and it was a very unusual year for us. We had about 5 weeks of actual skate use. We were there for a long time. They set up the ice rink in November, and it was almost March. It was February, March before we did any ice skating last year. But it was great when we did, and the people came, and they were very appreciative. We had a lot of super cold and a lot of snowstorms, so it was hard to keep the ice cleared and keep it nice enough for people to want to skate. But we managed. We eked out about 5 weeks. The parks crew set it up, and they worked as hard as they could when they weren't out plowing, because they had a lot of plowing to do. So we didn't count on them a lot this year. We had a lot of volunteers to help us keep it clear. Eric was talking about the MRA. Last spring, we had the T-ball and coach pitch kids out there for weeks, and it was so fun to watch them. And we stay open so that they can come in and use the restroom, and we have concessions, and they have siblings that don't want to watch the game, so they can come in and be safe and play and have fun. Eric also had his soccer camp there over the summer. There was a little soccer camp that went on. And before school got out, they had their Move Your Body outfit they'd come for an hour on Wednesdays and do outdoor activities. It was really a nice thing to see. So they use Sands Park a lot. Who else uses it? Central Wellness uses it in the afternoons. They have time where they can take their clients there and recreate and teach them things. We've also had birthday parties, graduation parties, baptism parties. You can have a party when we're not open just by asking, or you can have a party while we are open, which brings everybody in from outside and has a bigger party. It's kind of fun. We've drummed up some support for resurfacing the skate park. Last end of spring, summer, we had a fundraiser, and there was a GoFundMe page started by some people, and we've talked to the Parks Department and Jeff, and everybody's kind of following along on this journey to get a new surface for the skate park. A skate park is a valuable asset to Manistee, and it's been very well used over the years that we've had it, but it's aging, and so now it's time to update. So they're looking at putting in a cement, nice, fancy skate park, much like maybe the one in Frankfurt or in Ludington. It'll look nice, and the kids will have a ball and be safer than what they are right now. So we're looking at that. We just have a lot more work to do. We are currently collecting bottles and cans for that fund, and looking for grant opportunities or people who would be willing to help us to get to that goal. We were blessed over the summer by the Manistee Chamber Lake Shore group. They came in and did a total spruce up of the teen center, rec at Sands Park. They gave us a new paint job and brought us new furniture and got rid of all of our dust and our clutter, and it seems to be a very fresh new place to come and hang out, which is what kids seem to like to do. Rita McCann had her staircase group there over the summer. They had a blast going to all the different things that she takes them to for summer camp. And we successfully earned a grant from the Manistee Community Foundation, and we purchased a computer and a printer and some charging stations to have around for the kids to come and plug in their devices and stay powered and check things out on the internet if they want to. But of course, we will not allow any social media or things like that to go on or computer. And they all have their own phones anyway. They go wherever they want to go, but we have to model that good behavior for them, and we do a fairly good job of that. We want to help them with their homework. They tell me they don't get homework anymore. I need to talk to some teachers about that. I never heard of that before. We hope to be there for them when they come from school, be a soft, safe landing place. If they need us, we're there. And we'll be there as long as we can. So if you need any questions, I'll try to answer.
The leadership group that came in and did all the renovations,
Yes.
at the time, they weren't quite done with the ceiling. Is that done now?
They have not done any more ceiling as of yet. They talked about it, but the ladders and things are still there, so they must be still thinking of doing that.
Sheila, what are you running? I've always been impressed. The program, if you haven't seen it, is worth stopping there and going into the building and seeing what is going on there and how nice it actually truly is. And the atmosphere is, the snacks and the cookies, I've been there when they've had them out, and it's neat for those kids after school that aren't going home to cookies. But I'm always impressed on what your total budget, what you're running that program on. What, do you remember what it is? Because it's so low, it's like.
I'm afraid I don't.
It's,
18.8 from the city.
1880.
yeah, and then your total isn't that much more. I mean, it's like you are running a program on bare bones, and it's impressive that what you provide on the money that you have. 18.8 from the city and not,
The need has to be answered, Liz.
yeah, not much else, and so
It's
I
not
commend you for what
it's
you're
not about
giving back
dollars
to the
and
city for
cents
that
so
amount of
much,
money.
you know. We need that, dollars and cents, but that's not what we provide. That's not what we model for them. We don't model that you don't have the best, too bad, so sad, you know. Here, have this bike. It's just the way it is.
Okay, Jeff, I talked to Bob Slavinsky, and he's willing to do that survey up at Sands and to move that ice skating ring, but he needs you to get a hold of him. So I told him I'd tell you, I just talked to him a couple of weeks ago.
Jeff, do we need a survey to move that pool just in the, I mean, I'm curious.
So what they're referring to is we took down the outfield fence at Sands Park. Right now, the skating rink, when we set that up, it's about 8 inches lower on the north end than it is on the south end, so it makes it very difficult to freeze evenly. So what I suggested was if we had that outfield survey, there may be a flatter spot we could put it and extend the life of that rink, and the community could benefit from that. So I'll get a hold of Bob.
Okay, thank you.
I just wondered, because it's the field, they always flooded from the doors of the building out to the road, so it seems like, why do we need a survey to pull it forward? Anyway, that's just a question for me. Never mind.
Thank you.
You bet, thanks.
A citizen's comment, this is an opportunity for citizens in attendance to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read.
Hello. My name is Patty Hartman. I am a public affairs specialist with the Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery. We are here in Michigan because of the storms that came through between April 10th and the 21st, the floods, the tornadoes. You all had a lot of damage. Manistee County is one of 27 primary counties in the Presidential Disaster Declaration, which means that you all, everyone within Manistee County is eligible for the full scope of SBA disaster assistance programs. What they are low-interest loans for homeowners, renters, and businesses. They are as low as 2.75% for homeowners, as low as 4% for businesses, up to $500,000 for homeowners, up to $100,000 for renters, up to $2 million for businesses. They are 0% for up to the first year. You can carry it out up to 30-year term so that it can be a small, payment. And the purpose is to help everybody get back on their feet if they had damage from any of those storms. The deadline to apply is coming up. It is August 31st, which is why we are out trying to message this aggressively. There can be extensions. People can apply for extensions. I did email Madam Mayor all of the documents. I ran out of the flyers because I've been doing a lot of running around. But our flyers have like a QR code on them, and I will email them to your clerk if you all can make space on your webpage, get them out to constituents so that everyone is aware in case they can take advantage of any of these programs. Are there any questions that I can answer for any of you?
This is just public comment, so we can't do a back and forth. But
Okay.
I will definitely forward the email to the city clerk.
All right, appreciate that. And then I just have to take a picture of myself to prove that I was here. Your text hours at work. And I will take one of the audience since there's so many of you. I think this is the biggest crowd I've had so far. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Dave Melke from 273 6th Avenue. I had already submitted my letters to the council. I'd like to have some kind of a vote at some time to consider whether this FOIA process enlightened anybody on what was going on over at the senior center. At this point, I think the permitting of the senior center is a moot point, because the senior center does not have the authority to work for Mrs. Butterfield and her group. So basically, I would like to see the sign removed and put on her property or some other group that would like that sign. And that's about it. I don't know if you're gonna do this tonight or some other night, but I'd like to see some action as far as compensation or consideration on my expenses on the FOIA process. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Fred Walter, St. Mary's Parkway, up the street from the senior center. I think I have 3 questions, maybe 4. I know we're talking about the fire department. My one question there, and I don't want an answer tonight, is if it ever comes together, would Rescue 5 be required to go out to Bear Lake, Onekama, Sault Ste. Marie, wherever, you know? That's question 1. Question 2 is the movie screen that's on First Street. Everybody looks at me, what movie screen? I'm referring to the place where the painting was at one time. Is anything going to be done with that, to put something in there, or another painting, another, grow trees in front of it? Just, as they say, just a question. The other question or comment I have, one comment is, you just paved Maple Street, but all the manholes are about that deep, and when you're driving over them in a car or in my golf cart, it's a little rough when you hit them, even in a car. I don't know what happened there. Did the engineer fall asleep or what? And I guess my last comment is, or question is on Washington, where they had that sewer blowout last year. That patch looks like it's starting to kind of cave in. You know, does it need to be taken out and a better patch put in? That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Please.
So from my understanding, sorry, I'm Taylor. From my understanding, to answer.
Can you state your last name too? and address?
Summers.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you.
I'm not good at public speaking, so I apologize.
No problem.
To answer that gentleman's question, I do believe that they would have to go to the surrounding townships, if that were to become a thing. Let me get to my notes app though. So I just want to bring something up from everything I've heard from citizens and other people that I've worked alongside with in this field. I do come from like a law enforcement and fire and EMS background as well, and dispatch. So my question is, how does the city council intend to ensure accountability and integrity within the leadership of the Manistee Fire Department when experienced firefighter paramedics are leaving, reports of deteriorating work environment and impacts to their mental well-being. And the city is hiring personnel who do not yet possess the same certifications as those leaving, be it they're not medics yet, but they're also not fire certified yet, which is a very long process when you have all of them. I can respect the want to help people further their careers and achieve dreams, but at some point you do have to look at the supply and demand in a way. I'm not talking about people with no medical licensure, but just no fire certifications along with not being a paramedic. And then is the council investigating why experienced employees are leaving rather than simply filling the vacancies that they leave behind, especially ones who have very deep connections to this community? And that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comments? Nope. Good. Mr. Campbell.
So this presentation is intended to provide some additional context regarding the recent media coverage. The goal is not to dismiss criticism, but to make sure council and the public understand who is making these claims, what interests they may have, and whether important context has been left out of the reporting. The individual calling for an investigation is first and foremost an MMR employee. That is important context because MMR has publicly opposed this initiative, as evidenced by the amount of MMR employees here today. In addition, according to the address provided in the FOIA request that this individual provided the city in April, he resides in Filer Township, not the city of Manistee. Despite that, he repeatedly refers to himself as a Manistee resident. These facts are relevant when evaluating the perspective being presented in this individual's credibility. 2 firefighters recently resigned. I see one of them recording there right now. With the timing that occurred almost simultaneously with a media release about their departures, the timing naturally raises questions about whether these events were part of a plan to create a staffing crisis. Regardless, the city has a plan to maintain coverage, and Chief Herndon has offered to personally cover 24-hour shifts if necessary. Most importantly, we now have a strong group of firefighters whose primary focus is on serving the residents of Manistee. MMR has publicly opposed this initiative, and the 2 employees that resigned took positions with MMR, including that individual recording. The timing of those departures, combined with MMR's opposition, warrants additional review. We have also heard that MMR employees have been told their positions could be eliminated if the initiative succeeds. If that is occurring, it provides potential motivation for these employees to actively oppose the initiative, attend council meetings. Finally, MMR's nonprofit status does not mean that there are no financial or organizational interests involved. Public financial records provide additional information about the organization's revenue, expenses, and executive compensation. This is not simply an initiative of the fire chief or city manager. This has been a council-driven effort that has developed over several years. One of the most long-standing concerns has been the city ambulance being pulled outside the city, reducing resources available to city residents who fund that service. At the time, volunteer emergency services are declining rapidly. The goal is to address these challenges through stronger regional collaboration and investment in first responder capacity. At the end of the day, this is about improving emergency services. We want to protect city residents by keeping resources available where the city taxpayers fund them, eliminate unnecessary duplication, improve efficiency through coordinated equipment and staffing, and ultimately improve emergency response times. If neighboring communities want and rely on this level of service, they should also be contributing to the cost of providing it. Thank you.
Do you have any questions on this one?
I don't have any questions, but I have comments. Well done, Bill, thank you for that. I have been very disturbed personally, as well as a member of the City Council of Manistee, on how people are responding to this nonsense on social media. That is not the place to air your grievances. And the fact that our fire chief received an anonymous floral arrangement today disturbs me to no end, that our city employees or MMR employees, whoever this might be, would take this one more step. And I personally consider it a threat. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves. Come to the city council meetings, get the facts. Don't just go by what a couple of people are telling you. It has not been presented to the city at its fullest yet because we don't have anything to present yet. Stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you again, Bill.
Bill, I do have a question, and I guess it was this council that asked you to find the information and to share the information so that everyone can make informed choices. That's correct?
Correct. And we had a public engagement scheduled. We had Manistee Township kind of back down. I believe their fire chief is an MMR employee as well. So that backed out. We had to redo the plan. So we will be presenting that on the 21st of September. But it will work with the current partners we have with Filer Township, with Stronach, and with Onekama Township. So September 21st, we're going to have that next public engagement meeting to discuss the plan. But it does work with staffing, and I think it'll be a good engagement session, so I welcome you to come.
And I appreciate that transparency where people can have rich exchanges. My mother was transported from here to Traverse City by MMR. Those wonderful paramedics took excellent care of her. This isn't about the people who provide much needed services in rural Michigan. This is about finding out how we can sustain and support one another cooperatively. And I guess I get real frustrated because my parents are choosing to retire and age here until, forever. And I want the very best for them and me and my kids. And the fact that we are not sharing information or that there's this, like transparency isn't coming forward is not helping the people who need our help most of all. I get frustrated when I hear that Chief Herndon is sending our rig out of city limits and what's happening to the people here in the city of Manistee. But I ain't mad. How can we sit here when we are one of the few municipalities that has ALS response team and there's someone and our neighbors are in need? So we've got to figure this out. Higher waters float all ships, and the idea that we're wasting time firing at each other makes no sense. Anyone, come forward and let's all look at the same information at the same time. Let's take care of each other.
Laney, did you have something?
I was involved in this thing years ago, as Mr. Hornko was, when they tried to do this program before, and they said it didn't work. I'm trying to compare what's going on now, and I don't like the meetings that nobody knows about. I know they've been referred to on Facebook and all these other places. Why nobody, with the public people, public information, public everything. I'm waiting for the September meeting. Right now, I'm not in favor of it, and so I wait for this meeting to see what information comes out.
Mr. Grabowski, are you referring to the meetings of the operating committee, or are you thank you. Are you referring to the steering committee who's organizing and collecting the information to share publicly, or are you talking about the public meeting that's been announced for September?
All these meetings going on that we don't know about. I'm not going to answer anymore because I'm not going to get into a debate and fight over it. I'm waiting to see the September, but right now I'm not in favor.
So the steering committee is not a decision-making body. I have talked with the city attorney about whether or not that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. I'll let the...
Correct. It is my opinion, and I think it is not a close case, that you know, the so-called steering committee is not subject to the Open Meetings Act. It is a group of municipal officials from various jurisdictions who are meeting to discuss things. They have no legal authority to make any decisions. They haven't been delegated any authority. The Open Meetings Act clearly defines a public body, and this activity would not be subject to the Open Meetings Act. They're not a public body. They don't have any legal authority. If it's akin to, you know, if city officials go meet with Manistee County to discuss something, it's not subject to the Open Meetings Act. I don't think it's a close call.
So on that same vein, Bill, I'm hearing there's an investigation about the Open Meetings Act, and what's up with that?
Yeah, so I did hear, I think there was a complaint to the prosecutor's office, and the sheriff investigated, so I conveyed the city attorney's opinion to the sheriff, and I believe the county prosecutor, it's on his desk.
So the complaint was made and it's being followed through with?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have something?
Oh, I got some more.
In addition to the things that our city manager stated regarding the timing of the resignations of people from our fire department, I also would like to point out they waited until they got their $900 annual stipend as well as their thousands of dollars of health savings account money. In this case, I don't feel MMR are being good neighbors or showing concern for the community by deliberately hiring our firefighters away, and this is just my opinion, in such a way the fire department is short-staffed. You know, all the things Julius, Ms. Gradis is saying is true. It'd be great if we could work together, but thank goodness Chief Herndon has been able to fill a position already, and I'm sure he will continue to ensure the community doesn't feel this shortage. Lastly, I feel bad on behalf of Manistee Township taxpayers. They're elected officials after spending thousands of dollars, $5,000 of taxpayer money, plus paying the salary of someone to attend the steering committee meetings. Then at the last minute made the decision to pull out, and their taxpayers don't have a say-so at this late date. And it was at the point to, we gonna put it on the ballot or not? And that was taken away from the taxpayer after spending taxpayer money. And that's all I have to say on that.
Okay, can
I got just a comment, and I think, and I'm not sure 100% on how I feel on this, but one of the questions is, I think that, you know, I always thought when you make a decision, you list the pros and the cons, and I think as a city, that is the fear. What are we gonna lose? What are we gonna gain? What is the outcome of this? And it's the same for the townships. Everybody's questioning that, and it's time to look personal. How does this affect what we're here for, is to represent the city of Manistee? So is this the question that we pay $1.3 million for our fire department, that is this good or bad for our city? And that's the question I don't know that we have answered completely. What benefits and what is our possibility of what could we lose?
I connect with that I look at Ludington and other municipalities who are larger than we are. Do you think they have ALS? I mean, advanced life support within the city limits paid for by tax dollars?
Oh, their budget is $388,000 in Ludington.
Yeah.
It's low.
It's very low. And that speaks to privatization versus having our own employees, keeping that same ALS standard. I'm not ashamed that we're hiring great candidates. We're paying to take them from BLS to ALS. And, you know, it's just like we are helping people in our law enforcement get better certificates, and it's natural that they move to other places. But there's a shortage. And I agree, Lainey, I am I'm a school person. I know I'm PG. I look through things through my PG-rated glasses. And, but we're coming to the point where we have to decide to be good neighbors or bad neighbors. And I want to stand up for the side that just does the best for community members. And we find that out together in September. Go ahead.
Okay, Bill, is TV gonna come on now and cover our meetings? Did they open up yet?
Oh, the PEG
Yeah.
commission. Do you have an update on that, Chief?
We're within 2 months of it going on board.
2 months. Okay. Josh, what are we doing with those bikes downtown? I was sitting down there today, and they're shooting through, and that's all I've heard is complaints about on the highways, on the sidewalks.
What specifically is the complaint?
Pardon?
What specifically is the complaint?
Well, the speed, they cut across rivers. I saw a guy today just come right down Greenbush and just zip right into traffic. Cars had to jam on the brakes.
Are you talking about bicycles or electric bicycles?
Electric bikes.
Okay, electric bicycles are prohibited on sidewalks. Our police department's taken a harder stance on enforcement of electric bicycles, golf carts, things like that. So I'll make sure the officers are more aware of that.
River Street is ridiculous. I mean, they ride on the sidewalk. One guy smoking cigarettes and shooting down the street.
Yeah, electric bicycles are very challenging, right? Because we don't let them ride on the sidewalks. We direct them by ordinance to drive amongst traffic. So, yeah, I'll make sure, a good reminder for our officers.
Good. Bill, what are we doing with the gateway? I see that we had a couple of trucks sitting on the highway the other day. That machine is still sitting there and nothing getting done. And I know you had a meeting here about that at the last meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Blue, provide an update.
So myself and Maddie from the Community Development Department met with the tribe and Little River Holdings and Granger Development, who's the new partner. We've asked them to do something about their fence. They expressed the desire to do something about it, but they're somewhat hamstrung with the contamination and their grants. Anytime the soil is exposed, they have to protect that site from the public, or keep the public safe from the site, rather. Their plan is to cap off what work they've done and remove the fence if something doesn't happen within the next 2 or 3 weeks. That being said, they just bid out their break wall or retaining wall along the hill. That came in at higher bids than they anticipated, so they're going back out to bids. The machine is there, and there still is work to do on the site with some removal of concrete. It's just a matter of getting something done. So I personally have bought zip ties and zip tied their banners back up on the fence at 6:30 or 7 in the morning, try to keep it nice. They've worked really well trying to keep that thing up, but it's just, the wind is tearing it up, and they're doing the best they can. The project is expected to go forward. It's just a matter of funding and making sure that the environment is cleaned up.
Well, you know, we heard the same thing 4 years ago. I'll tell you exactly. That gentleman was up here, and he said, we are doing the brownfield. He went to the DDA the next day, said, we're doing the brownfield. The next year, he came and said, we're doing the brownfield. I asked him, when is he gonna do the brownfield? And he keeps telling us the next year. I mean, are they still working on the brownfield? This is crazy.
I'm not involved in that personally. I know there's multiple facets of revenues, grants, loans. Honestly, I can't answer the brownfield question because that's not my purview. We can find out from Ed and/or the county, whoever's dealing with that, if it's, and we'll get you an answer. But I do know this is.
Feet to the fire, because this is getting crazy 4 years later.
Well, it's a huge project, and I will say, the price of construction materials has driven this project from a $69 million project to an $89 million project. That's a huge gap, $20 million. They're trying to find it. So whether they're gonna redesign, whether they're gonna find the money, they are committed to doing something, and that's the message we're getting. Obviously, the environmental piece of this is key. It's right on a river bank. It's our community. I think maybe some patience with just that aspect in mind alone would be prudent in this.
Well, I think it's time they do something. I mean, everybody's complaining about the grass. You want people to turn on River Street. DDA is yelling about people turning on River Street, and we don't get nothing done.
From our department, I can assure the council and the committee that we will stay actively engaged with them and encourage them as much as we can and help them.
I see that Rosemary's are working on their building there. They got scaffolding up every couple of days. They do a little work and then they take their scaffolding down. How are we with the court case on that, Bill?
We don't have an active one. They do have a building permit, so it's one of those, it's just, yeah, they kind of work slowly on it, and that's what's been happening.
Okay, thank you.
So going back to the fire department, I just want to note that Grabowski, you were the only one on council at the time when this started. All of us are new, so, I mean, I find it ridiculous that now you're gonna be the martyr for this. It's just, we didn't start this. We didn't ask consistently how many times we're going out of town, how far are we going, what's the limit? So, we need to figure something out, but acting like that is not helping. I need to read a statement regarding. I'm still talking. I need to read a statement regarding the fire department. Regarding the recent media attention surrounding the Manistee Regional Fire Initiative and calls for investigation into the fire chief and city manager. This is a manufactured controversy driven by personal vendettas and fear-mongering from an entity with a financial interest in this situation. City taxpayers fund the only full-time fire department in the county, and for at least 8 years, City Council has directed city managers to find a more equitable regional solution that protects our residents. The goal of the City Council is to advocate for the best service for its residents. Now we will go into consideration of a closed session or attorney-client privilege communication request to convene a closed session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, PA 267 of 1976, pursuant to MCL 15.268(1H), to discuss attorney-client privilege communications dated August 11th, 2026 and August 13th, 2026. At this time, council can take action to proceed in closed sessions. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make that motion, but I just need a couple minutes for a break.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Heather, would you please take roll?
Councilmember Raditz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Lasky.
Yes.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councilmember Keck.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Rezga.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you.